Katt Williams is known for his straightforwardness, and that hasn't changed. During his appearance on Carmelo Anthony's podcast, the discussion shifted to Kendrick Lamar, creating a more serious atmosphere. What began as a lighthearted conversation about artistry and competition transformed into a profound dialogue about legacy, integrity, and the unique connection between two men from different backgrounds who share a core belief: to remain true to oneself and never back down. Welcome to Celebrity Cookies, where the tea is always hot and the stories come with sprinkles of surprise. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment with your take on the story. When asked about the frequent comparisons between himself and Kendrick Lamar, Katt acknowledged that while the pairing might seem odd at first, one being a comedic powerhouse and the other a Pulitzer Prize-winning rapper, there's a deeper connection emerging. In a world where true authenticity is rare and many personas are superficial, people are starting to see the similarities between two black men who are respected and feared in their fields, both facing challenges with authenticity and strong moral principles. Katt stated, "That's why I said I'm not someone you want to have a conflict with," expressing the determination of someone who has faced adversity head-on. "It's not a good look. I stand on the right side, and if I make a mistake, I'm open to working on it. But otherwise, there's no reason for conflict, especially when we understand what Kendrick has to embody to perform there." He was referencing Kendrick Lamar's notable performances in Toronto, Drake's hometown, during his grand national tour. This was not just a scheduling decision, it was a bold statement. Kendrick's performance of Not Like Us at the Scotiabank Arena, a song that challenges Drake's entire image, was more than just a hip-hop event. It was an act of courage and defiance. For Katt Williams, this resonated deeply. Katt knows what it's like to step into hostile environments armed only with the truth. His career has been characterized by public confrontations, candid interviews, and viral moments that often cast him as the villain, until people eventually recognized that he was simply sharing his honest viewpoint. Does that sound familiar? We're not talking about Drake performing in LA or the Bay Area, Katt pointed out. We're talking about Kendrick going there and showcasing his work. That's what it means to stand firm in your beliefs. It's about dedication to your craft. This is the connection between them. The reason the comparison makes sense isn't that Katt and Kendrick are similar in appearance or performance style, but because they both represent uncomfortable truths that don't conform to public opinion and remain steadfast regardless of who is watching. "I said what I said here," Katt added, "and I'll say it over there too. What's important to me is that I aim to express my thoughts as passionately and accurately as I can. Keeping that energy is essential, so it deserves respect." Katt Williams has skillfully walked a tightrope throughout his career, balancing brilliance with criticism. Similar to Kendrick, he has received both acclaim and backlash for the intensity of his words. Neither of them softens their messages or panders to mainstream tastes. In a society that increasingly favors polished and neatly packaged entertainment, their authenticity can be jarring, yet it is vital. By 2025, this is becoming more widely acknowledged. Kendrick's grand national tour has emerged as one of the most talked-about musical events in modern rap history, not just for its setlist or production quality, but for the unique atmosphere it fosters. In every city, fans gathered not only to dance but to experience a transformative artist who has redefined discussions around music, masculinity, loyalty, and power. The moment in Toronto when Kendrick performed Not Like Us, and the audience erupted in chants for an encore was significant, not only for the song itself but for the context. It symbolized a man standing resolutely in a challenging environment, asserting his truth with millions watching. Katt is all too familiar with that experience. Both have faced criticism not for being wrong, but for being ahead of their time. Katt was calling out Hollywood's superficiality long before exposing the industry became trendy. Kendrick was building a legacy of profound social commentary, while the mainstream was still focused on club anthems. Now, both are in a world that is finally catching up, but they aren't stopping for recognition. What makes Katt Williams intriguing when he talks about Kendrick is not just admiration, it's understanding. They both know what it feels like to be intentionally misinterpreted, to be labeled as unpredictable, unstable, or too much, simply for refusing to compromise their true selves. They understand the struggle of speaking the truth in a world that resists accountability. They both bear the weight of holding their heads high while others question their character, craft, and purpose, only for those same critics to eventually concede, "You were right all along." Katt's recent resurgence in cultural conversations, ignited by his passionate and insightful interviews, mirrors Kendrick's current stage presence. They're not trying to impress anyone. They aim to remind people of who they are, what they stand for, and why they remain resolute. "You've got to respect it," Katt emphasized. "This isn't just about Kendrick, but about every artist who values integrity over image, every creator who prioritizes truth over trends. That's the true comparison. That's the connection." In the days after his 7 p.m. appearance in Brooklyn, social media exploded with activity. Clips from the show went viral, and fans analyzed every word Katt Williams said. Twitter threads began to explore the similarities between him and Kendrick Lamar. One tweet noted, "Katt Williams and Kendrick Lamar are cut from the same cloth, the fabric of truth-tellers. Katt's just doing stand-up while Kendrick does his thing in the booth." And that's precisely the point. When executed well, both comedy and rap originate from the same sources: pain, perspective, and precision. They serve as tools for survival, resistance, and storytelling. Katt and Kendrick wield these tools like swords, not to harm, but to protect something sacred. In a society where artists are often expected to conform, Katt and Kendrick have forged their own paths. They refuse to dilute their messages for broader appeal. They've taken the long, challenging route, one without a clear map, and are now reaching a moment where the world is beginning to grasp their journey. What Katt recognizes and articulates so powerfully is that legacy goes beyond mere success. It's about alignment, how closely your words reflect your actions, and your willingness to trade applause for authenticity. That's why he sees a reflection of himself in Kendrick, not due to fame, but because of their shared fearlessness. Kendrick's performance in Toronto wasn't just a concert, Katt stated. It was a message, a movement, a mission. And if anyone understands how perilous a message can be in the wrong environment, it's Katt Williams. So when people draw comparisons between the two, it might not be an exaggeration. Perhaps it's exactly what we need, a reminder that comedy and hip-hop are not isolated. Both serve as platforms for revolution. The artists who enter these spaces, armed solely with truth, leave behind more than just laughter or lyrics. They create a blueprint. Katt Williams isn't seeking accolades, nor is Kendrick. Yet the world seems to be recognizing their contributions, one viral moment, one sold-out venue at a time. And the message? Stand firm in your beliefs, even when faced with boos from the crowd, even when critics speak out, even when the industry tries to sideline you. Stand tall, speak your truth, and let the consequences unfold. Katt Williams and Kendrick Lamar, two artists, two forms of expression, one powerful message. Be undeniable. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on the story.